great joy to take his place. And in the best scenario, because the speaker after me went that way, so I've got a few minutes with you all today. But I promise I'll make it brief. I wanted to share just a few nuggets about why today is especially really transformative and important for the Dallas community. This work is not, this facility that you just got to tour is not the result of a single organization or individual. It's a result of a shared understanding of a collective goal that has been built together over years by listening to the community, by working with a diverse set of partners from healthcare to other organizations, to Crossroads partnering and listening and meeting a unique need with an absolutely, totally innovative solution. I've been involved with Crossroads for about 12 years. I was invited to participate by Dr. Tammy Leonard, who was formerly on the board of Crossroads. She told me about the organization, and one of the selling points for me that she knew would get me, she said it's an innovative organization. They like to try new things, even if it doesn't work the first time, or even if it has to be adapted partway through the process. That really appealed to me because I think we don't achieve great things unless we try something really bold and unless we try and fail, right? And make little mistakes along the way. I encourage every one of you to remember how this is a collective partnership today between a key social agency for our community, providing the nourishing food that every single person deserves, but unfortunately doesn't have access to today. That Crossroads has worked together with healthcare partners like Parkland and UT Southwestern and Children's and many more partners to come to help make sure that health and medicine actually achieve what we want them to achieve. Medicine alone is not enough to transform health. It has to be partnered with a supportive community and nourishing food, and this amazing achievement is going to make that possible for generations of people in this community going forward. It's very exciting. So I'm thrilled to be here today. As we leave later today, I want you to think about what you can do as part of your community or your own self, how you can contribute to this effort. If that's volunteer hours, if that's simply telling people about the mission, if that's donating your time, your talents, your dollars, think about how you can help make sure this is an enduring effort so we can keep the trust of the community by providing them the food they justly deserve. So it's my great honor now to introduce our next speaker. Dr. Whitney Strauss is Executive Director of AdCare Foundation. Come on up, Whitney.
Better? There we go. Hi. Good morning. My name is Dr. Whitney Strauss. It is such an amazing pleasure or privilege to be at this point. I had the opportunity to help facilitate the strategic plan for Crossroads 2 years ago, and to see this come to fruition is just, this is a remarkable day. So a little bit about myself. I had the opportunity to do my dissertation topic to the introduction of urban agriculture across the U.S. to really understand how our community-led initiatives like that showing impact. And what I found overwhelmingly, there's several motivations for doing urban ag, but overwhelmingly people wanted to have a healthy food source. They wanted to have choice. They wanted it to be something that was something that they could understand how to cook, that they wanted to eat. There was dignity and empowerment in that. And they also wanted to see that change their health outcomes. So I studied this I spent last summer traveling across the US to study this in communities from Compton, Philadelphia, Detroit, Fort Worth, Atlanta, all over. So, and it made me appreciate what a truly a national model this is, that this is happening here in my hometown, makes me incredibly proud. So I just want you all to recognize how special this is and will truly serve as a national model across the U.S. So we can clap for that. Also, personally I'm proud that our family has gotten very involved in this issue because of my studying it and just our passion for making sure that everyone has access to healthy food. So my son had his bar mitzvah last summer and decided to, instead of, I don't know if any of y'all have been to a bar mitzvah, but one of the gifts that you get is cash. So he decided, instead of that, he wanted to make a lasting impact on the community, and he chose to donate all the proceeds of his bar mitzvah to this market, and in total raised $25,000. Wow. Today, but I'm going to tell him he's incredibly proud to see this happen, and for him he saw this as, it's not just meeting hunger, it's truly changing the outcomes for families, and that's what this is about. So really, really proud of that. Okay, I wanted to invite the panelists to stage. Dr. Marc Nivet and James Perez, if you could join me. So if you all could, take a little moment to introduce yourselves to our audience.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Ronald Session, and I'm the practice manager for Parkland's CV Roman Health Center and Parkland's Oak West Health Center, two clinics that serve the community that are located in this area and the residents of this community.
Good morning, or afternoon at this point. Marc Nivet. I'm the Executive Vice President for Institutional Advancement at UT Southwestern, which is Think External Affairs.
Thank you. I had a few questions for you all. Mark and James, why? Why did UT Southwestern and Parkland open clinics in RedBird? It's a little unusual to see clinics opening in a shopping center. So I'm curious, what was your why for making this partnership happen?
Well, I would say for us it's based on three things: attitudes, barriers, and behaviors. And one of the primary of those things being barriers. One of the things that people have a tendency to do is they create barriers, whether they be real or fictitious, that prevent them from accessing health care. And one of those barriers is distance, geography. So when Parkland did an assessment of this community, we looked at the fact of what was needed in this community and how far was the need, would the patients have to go in order to meet that need. Typically, most people don't go outside of 3 or 4 miles to seek care for any of their healthcare needs. And that's a barrier that when we looked at it, we decided that we would try to eliminate that barrier by creating something that gave people the opportunity to access services right here in their community.
I think for UT Southwestern, what's critical is that we serve, as a state institution, that we serve all members of our community. And prior to this opportunity of the mall, sort of being available and open and transformed, we struggled to find a place that made sense, both financially and just right community, et cetera, et cetera. And it's actually not that strange to find a medical mall. So the first medical mall was opened in 1990 in Jackson, Mississippi, by a physician who went on to win the MacArthur Genius Award for this idea. And there's one in Vanderbilt and a few others popping up. I would say this is probably third or fourth to actually achieve it. But if you think about what a mall is, you think about great space for cars, highway access, big, bold brand, visible. So for a variety of reasons, it just made business sense, just to be honest with you. Just fantastic business sense. On the social side, if you really think back a couple of years ago, UT Southwestern, like a lot of healthcare systems, following the population, moving north. It's huge resources, young families, makes a lot of sense to go north. Keep going north, you look back, you haven't done anything in the southern sector. And I think for us, you know, again, this opportunity presented itself, and really it was why not? Why wouldn't we come here and serve this phenomenal community that it is? And I happened to go to church in this community. I happened to live in the community for a year, so I knew what the community is, and I knew what this mall could be, and, you know, just had the good fortune to meet, you know, the owner of the mall, Peter Brodsky, and, you know, literally it felt like a year, maybe a year and a half later, maybe to Peter it's 3 years later, but we opened here at RedBird.
I'm gonna come over here. It's less awkward. Hey.
Hey.
Read them all. Let's see. What are you most looking forward to with this partnership?
I would say for me, just the opportunity for those in the community to recognize that there are individuals out there that are making strides for their health. For them to have an opportunity to be able to access food in spaces without a large portion of their family budget. When we look at the patients that we serve, budget is primary for those individuals because most of them live on fixed incomes or very small incomes. And so having something that comes to their community that allows them to actually utilize their funds for more important needs, or just as important needs, I'm not going to say more important needs, of being able to buy that medication that you need, that you had to determine whether or not I'm going to buy some vegetables or I'm going to buy my blood pressure medicine. This will help a large percentage of our patients eliminate or alleviate that concern in their life. So that's kind of what I'm looking most for, is just for patients to have an opportunity to make more decisions about their lives because we've helped them eliminate one of those major concerns.
I think specific to the partnership with Crossroads, you know, I view this as an extension or an expansion of an existing partnership. There's a lot of our faculty members and individuals that work at UT Southwestern that volunteer, that participate, that give of their time and their treasure. And this is maybe a formal way for us to show that partnership, a visible and very formal way to show that partnership. But the opportunity that we have in multiple areas, it could be in education. When you think of, you know, the opportunity for medical students to come here and to work here and to participate in this and understand that food is medicine. As Jacqueline Albin, who really leads our Food is Medicine, if she was here, I don't know if she's here, but she would have stated that right up front. And food is good for the soul, obviously. And so we have this opportunity, I think, to do research. Let's prove that, right? I mean, it's been proven in other cities. Let's do our own studies here as well and see how effective, you know, we can be in really driving, as I said, you know, food is medicine. And just imagine what we can do from, again, proximity being as important as it is. Just imagine that we start to get the support that we need, financial support, to really bring in the most innovative technologies in here. So when our faculty member in there gives a script, and that script is for medicine, by the time they walk out that door of the clinic and walk here, there's a bag of groceries and directions on, you know, recipes and all sorts of stuff, and you pick it up on your way out, never having to pause a step. And we can do that electronically. There's ways to do that. So I'm just excited about leveraging all of our organizations in partnership with Crossroads, because it's going to be so meaningful for this community and so meaningful, you know, for all of us to learn.
How am I doing on time? Okay. So, a follow-up question about Parkland Health. So, it is a notable and highly ranked public health institution. The Parkland Clinic at RedBird is currently participating in a pilot study at Crossroads RedBird pop-up market. This project is funded by an American Heart Association grant, which I'm very excited about. There are currently 177 patients shopping at the pop-up market. 84% make less than $30,000 a year, and 74% report low to very low food insecurity. How does the collaboration with Crossroads support Parkland's mission and services in this way?
Well, our mission is kind of threefold, and the third leg of that mission simply says to educate and develop. And by partnering with Crossroads, it allows us and you guys to educate our patients to the importance of food and how Doc just mentioned that food is medicine. Most people think of food as just something that I need in order to get me through the day versus helping me manage my health. I often talk to patients and I tell patients all the time that if medicine and food were in a race, food would always win. So the best way to manage your health is to have a good diet. Our partner with Crossroads allows us to be able to fulfill that mission because now we can tell patients that, what we need you to do is eat X amount of vegetables. We need you to eat more things that were made from a plant and less things that were made in a plant. And actually teach them how that happens, and then have an avenue that they are able to actually fulfill that mission.
Dr. Nivet, also you said about formalizing the partnership and having the proximity between the UT Southwestern and now Crossroads. So I'm curious, how do you foresee this will change impact to your health and wellness services that you give to your patients?
I think what I'm hopeful for, just back to the research for a minute, is the ability to then translate that research and those findings into new policies and into new ways of paying for this and creating sustainable models of paying for health and wellness. I mean, I don't have to tell anyone in this audience, our healthcare system, is paid for by sick people, by people showing up to the hospital. We don't have a reimbursement model for keeping you healthy, not a serious reimbursement model for that. We've got pilots all over the country, but here's another opportunity to really pilot something different, keeping people out of the hospital. How does an institution like Crossroads get valued and appreciated and remunerated for keeping people out of the hospital? That's what I'm excited for in terms of what we could potentially do together, and then again, translate that into other cities, other communities around the country.
I wanted to just for Farlonna Coleman. Yes, ma'am. Would you like to join us on the panel, please? Okay, I'd love if you could introduce yourself to us and tell us how you were referred to the pop-up market.
Yes, my name is Farlonna Coleman, and I was introduced to the Crossroads through Bianca being interested, coming in the entranceway of the mall. There was a sign that was posted, and I was interested in what was going on, so I walked in, introduced myself, and Bianca was very much a big help in guiding me through how to get on the Crossroads.
How was shopping at the pop-up market? How was that benefiting?
Oh, it benefited me a lot. It helped a lot for budgeting my money and being able to eat healthy, and how she guided me through the guidelines of the nutritions, and like funds were low to buy what I needed. So Crossroads helped a lot. So they have a lot for everybody, and we need this in the community. And I've watched it grow since it's been here, and we really do need this. Everyone needs help with being healthy, eating right, and they gave me those guidelines. They helped me a long way.
Thank you for that. No, you're good. Thank you. So final thoughts, starting with Farlonna. Why is the community market at RedBird, a nutrition pharmacy concept, important for the community, and why should people support? Final thoughts.
I believe that people should support it because there's a lot of families in need, and a lot of older people also in need that does not have the funds, once again, like I say, to buy food, to be more healthy. We all need the help here, and I feel like this is a great thing, and it's going to grow. And I reach out to other people also and let them know about Crossroads, and it's going to benefit the community's families is in need.
I want to kind of tie in on something Lana just said when she mentioned the word budget. The definition that I've adopted for the word budget is simply giving every penny a name and then making sure that every penny gets to live up to that name. When you're a family that has needs and you have a budget and those pennies are named rent, mortgage, and food becomes an option that we can take off the table, then you can make sure that all those pennies get to live up to that name. This partnership for us with Parkland and Crossroads gives us an opportunity to educate our patients and to alleviate, again, some of the things in their lives that have caused them to have to make decisions that they should not have to make. No one should ever have to decide whether I'm going to eat or be healthy. Because if I choose being healthy, more than likely if I don't eat, I'm not going to be healthy. So it's a losing battle no matter how you fix it. And this gives us an opportunity to help target that battle with people.
Now, I'll simply say, I don't want us to forget that Crossroads is much more than what the organization is doing here, which is, critically important on all of, what we call the social determinants of health. And so it's really a unique organization. It's not a food pantry or whatever people think of it as, some people used to think of it as. It is a phenomenal organization, and we at UT Southwestern are just proud to be able to partner with this organization, certainly here at the mall, but broadly. I just don't want us to be lost, or for it to get lost. The Crossroads is doing something that's pretty amazing, and all of us in this community need to figure out the best way to support it. And I kind of, echo Dr. Pruitt's comments, whether that's your time, whether that's your talent, or whether that's your treasure, this is an organization deserving of all of it, quite frankly.
Thank you so much. If we could thank our panelists. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your thoughts, and none of us would be here without your leadership and vision for this, so thank you so much. I would now like to invite Peter Brodsky. Where's Peter? Hey. To share a few words. Peter is the owner and developer of the shops at RedBird.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here. Thank you both for that panel. I really am just here to say one thing, although it'll take me a couple minutes. And in one word, it would be, we could not be happier to have Crossroads here. We are thrilled. We are thrilled to have UT Southwestern here. We are thrilled to have Parkland here. We will be thrilled when Children's gets here. The vision of RedBird from the very beginning has been to provide the quality amenities that this community desires and deserves. And the only thing that has changed over the 9.5 years that we've been working on this project is what the definition of amenity is. It started out pretty narrow. It was retail and restaurants. And the deeper we get into the community, the more we realize that there are a lot of things lacking in this community, one of which is healthcare, which is something that we're proud to have helped address, and the other of which is food access. We are in a food desert. We're working very hard on bringing a grocery store, but even that doesn't solve the problem. And so when Benet approached us about having a Crossroads space here, it was, to me, it just fits in perfectly with our vision, where we want to be where everybody in this we want to be a place where everybody in this community has a place, has a reason to come here. We want people who want to go pay $6 for a latte, and we want people who are in need of seeing a doctor. We want people who need to be educated about nutrition. And we want people who want to treat themselves to a cookie or a smoothie, and everything in between. So we couldn't be happier to welcome you to the RedBird family. I also want to acknowledge our general manager, Lisa Long, who's sitting here. None of this would be happening without her. She makes it run every day. And with that, I think it's my turn to turn it over to the woman of the hour, Benet.
Wow, I'm gonna work really hard not to be emotional. This has been a 2-year journey, a vision that was really birthed on a rainy day. When I started at Crossroads, I said, the board shared with me, we wanted to be at RedBird, and I said, well, why do we want to be at RedBird? We have a market right up the street. And they said, because we really feel like with the healthcare facilities coming in, that we need to be a part of that, but not sure how to make that happen. And I said, well, I know Peter, I'll call and see who he thinks we should be talking to. And he said, you need to talk to Marc Nivet. And so I called Dr. Nivet, and he came out to Crossroads. It was raining cats and dogs. Literally, I was shocked that he showed up. I was like, wow, you're really committed. Thank you. And halfway through our tour, he was like, we need to get this at RedBird. And I said, all right, let's get on a path to make this happen. And so that conversation started there. But the work of this organization has been going on for 24 years. Crossroads as an agency, to Dr. Nivet's point, is more than this particular market. We have been serving the downtown and Southern Dallas community for 24 years. We have been a partner with the North Texas Food Bank. Some of our partners from them are here as well. We were the first agency for the NTFB to distribute 1 million pounds of food. And today, we continue to be their largest partner, distributing over 16 million pounds of food through both our market and the redistribution side of our business. And so before I get into some of my comments, and then we turn the sand in the box, there are some folks here that I would be remiss if we didn't take a moment to thank. And they've been long-term friends of this organization, and quite frankly, reasons that we are here today. First of all, Dallas Morning Charities. Camille Grimes is here. Thank you for coming today. They've been long-term friends and partners. Matter of fact, when I came to Crossroads, they were like, the first thing you need to do is meet with Camille. I'm really good at following instructions, but so the first thing I did was meet with Camille. But also Communities Foundation of Texas, and I think they came strong and deep today with like 5 or 6 people. But they have been such incredible partners around the research aspect of what Crossroads does. And a lot of people don't realize that. We are a food equity research organization, not just a food pantry. We are a community market invested in understanding the why, the how, and then what we need to do to make it better. And then last, but certainly not least, our longest term partner, the North Texas Food Bank. We wouldn't be able to provide the food without the food bank, and they are going to be one of the providers for food in this space as well. And we're thankful that they continue to let us trail and blaze a path that they walk along with us so that we are winning in this fight against hunger and food insecurity. But about 1.5 years ago, my board said, "Great, we love this idea, Benet. You convinced us that proximity is important, that we need to be in the space. But before we give you the yes, we want you to raise $1 million in 6 months." What you should also know about me is I love a good challenge. So I would love to say that I did this, but I did not. It was the lady right there, not paying me any attention. Cynthia Thompson, who for Crossroads raised $1.3 million in 6 months. Wow. It was the first time we ever got a 6-figure gift, and in that year we got over 6 six-figure gifts to make this happen and other efforts at Crossroads. It's all about the right people in the right seats. And some of our sponsors are here today. You've heard about the Strauss family. We love Sweet Tim. Attorneys Serving Community. We were their beneficiary for a year. The Moody Foundation. Hoblitzel, Katie Robbins is here. The Harry Bass Foundation. John and Pam Beckert. And then we had been talking about this particular corporation, and we didn't know how to make an inroads to them, but we have an advisory council, and on that council sit some pretty amazing people. And they made an introduction to us to McKesson. And we had our call with McKesson, and we were like, oh, maybe they'll give us like $25,000. And at the end of the call, they said, you should ask for $250,000. And so we did, and so did they. Thank you for being here. And our most significant funder, I've known this family for a long time, and I made this crazy phone call, and I said, you know, Carolyn, we have this amazing idea, and she was like, I don't know, but go ahead and submit a proposal. But the Perot family led the way with a gift of $500,000 to make this possible. And Margot Perot was like, I love it, and it just makes sense. And so we're excited to have all of those supporters. But we have several of our board members here today as well. And I'm just overwhelmed. I rarely cry. Because excellence, quality, unique, innovative, and together, yes we can. This problem is affecting an unrealistic number of people. There's no reason that the state of Texas should be #1 in food insecurity. There's no reason that in Dallas County, 1 in 5 children should be going hungry. There's no reason that in the first 90 days of our fiscal year, July 1 to end of September, we've already served 11,000 individuals in our market up the street. There's no reason that in our From Food to Finances program, which is such a celebration, they reached their 300 number of people served, but that's a lot of people learning and for the first time having conversation about managing budget and food and how not to have to make the choices. And just down the hall, already we have seen over 250 patients and clients and served 18,000 pounds of food just out of a space that's a quarter of the space that we're going to be in. If we want proof that there is a need, there's your proof. But more importantly, we need proof that there is a solution, and this is it. But it has to be collective. We have to do it together. And we have to stop saying that this should be enough for you. If it's not enough for you to get a box of food or a bag of canned goods, then it shouldn't be enough for anyone else. And that's what we say at Crossroads every day. Yes, we can. Yes, we can do this. And yes, we will. And that is what this is about today. So for all of you who are here, thank you for believing that you can do this. Because it's not just me, it's you too. It's not just Crossroads, it's UT Southwestern, it's Parkland, it's the shops at RedBird, it's our architect Kirksey, it's our contractor Bridgemar, it's our partner, Dr. Wong is here, the head of Dallas County Health and Human Services. Because if all of us are not a part of this, then none of us win. And I am tired of losing in this fight around food. I remember as a child standing in line to get our bag. Enough is enough. And so let's say yes we can together. Let's turn this sand over here. Let's continue construction happening, and let's come back here in March. Because Jamar said in January this is going to be done. That's what he said. He put that in writing. And I said, I'm a daughter of an architect. We're going to call it February 15th. Real life. And come March, we're going to open the doors with programming that we've learned already about how this should work and what it should look like from what we're doing just down the hall and what we're doing down the street. And we're going to start doing more and changing more lives. And so I thank you for being a part of this today. For those of you who are joining us, oh wait, because I saw her sneak in. Where'd she go? We also approached one of our board members and said, hey, would you chair this? And she said, how long and how much? Those were her questions. And I said, I promise we'll get it done in 6 months, and we only need to raise $1 million. And she helped us lead the way. So Carol Green, if you'll come up first so you can join us. Why is she surprised? We're also going to be joined by Peter Brodsky, Dr. Marc Nivet, Ron Sessions, Jamar Henner, and Nicole Bradley Kulak with Kirksey.